All right, here we go, everybody. Welcome in on yet another Thursday to another edition of the United Podcast. And we are now in the month of April, really the first day in the first couple of weeks that it's finally felt like a spring day. 60s, some wind, but we got a couple of softball games in today. So maybe we're starting to finally turn a corner when it comes to the weather forecast. We are certainly turning a corner when it comes from spring sports season and so many great things going on with Gannon Athletics. If you're new to us, welcome in. My name's Isaac Petcash, the Director of Communication and Creative Content here at Gannon Athletics, and welcome to the United Podcast, our partnership here live at the UPick6 Tap House downtown, talking all things Gannon Athletics, whether it be community events, talking with teams, student athletes, everything coming up from games, events, and everything else of the sort. We can't wait to be with you tonight, and we're so joyful that you're joining us, whether it be live inside the Tap House Pier, which is packed, by the way, as it should be every single night, and as well online on our YouTube page, social media channels, or wherever you get your podcast. A lot going on tonight. Let's show you what we have on tap for this Thursday evening, loaded with guests. We'll start in just a few minutes with Jordan Salai, the Associate Director for Annual Giving and Alumni Communications, as well as Carrie McKay, our Assistant Director of Athletics for External Relations, talking Day of Giving. We are T-minus 3 weeks away, folks. 8 p.m. on April 24th to 8 p.m. on April 25th is our Centennial Celebrate Day of Giving. Cannot wait for all of you to get to be a part of that, and we'll share some details and excitement behind that, plus some of the things that we're doing ahead of that Day of Giving at the end of April. Also, in a little bit later on the show, women's water polo is getting set to be home this weekend for the WWPA Erie Classic. Zarko Sadakovic, the head coach, will join us to talk about the team's success so far this season and where they go from here and why you should be at the Home and Aquatic Center at Cathedral Prep coming up on Saturday and Sunday. We'll also have a quick interview at the end with softball head coach Michelle Wiley, whose team is in action as we speak right now. They're taking on Seton Hill in Game 2 of a doubleheader. She just earned her 150th win as head coach with the maroon and gold. We'll talk to her in just a few minutes. Plus, of course, what's on top for the weekend, our top 5 plays of the week. Dish of the day coming up in just a second, and we'll get to the week that was as we roll along here in just a few minutes. All right, we're going to get to our dish of the day right now, because what better than to talk about the food and the great food and drink that's here at UPick6 Tap House. It's time for our dish. Now, typically, Mitch Farnsworth would be with us, but he is on softball duty today. So instead, we've got Kevin Huber, the Director of Facilities here at Gannon University. You get to be the guinea pig today, my friend. I don't want to say it's a guinea pig, because you get the easy job in tasting our dish of the day. Why don't you go ahead and bring it over here, my friend? We're going to show everybody exactly what it is. It is the chicken pesto flatbread, and Kevin's going to model it for us. You can see right here, it's got a lot of great things. It makes me jealous every time that he brings up the dish of the day, because I don't really get a chance to taste it. We got pesto, of course. We've got some chicken. We've got tomatoes. Why don't you take a piece and I'll take a piece, and we'll we'll try this thing together, shall we? Now, again, a dish of the day, as always on Thursdays at the UPick6 Tap House, is $2 off from 6 to 10 p.m. So, of course, our podcast goes until 7. But you can get this item $2 off at the Tap House from 6 to 7 p.m. All right, Kevin, we're going to do a little fake cheers here. Let's go. Let's test it. What say you?
Very good.
This is the problem. We do this at the beginning, which is great because we want to let people know. But then I'm just compelled to eat the whole thing. We still have a whole podcast left to go.
I'll take care of it for you. Don't worry.
All right. Well, Kevin's going to take care of it for us. Great stuff as always. And you know, it's so fascinating, Kevin. They have great dishes all around. Their pizzas and flatbread are darn good. We had the barbecue chicken flatbread last week, which barbecue on anything is amazing. Then we had the bacon great flatbread, which was also tremendous. We had a hot honey pizza at the beginning in our first episode. Like, they do pizzas really, really well here.
They do. The barbecue chicken pizza, that's a go-to for me. But I've had just about everything here. It's always delicious. Never been disappointed by anything on the menu here.
I was going to say this pesto chicken flatbread was about the 10th one that I saw them bring out from when I got here down front for 5:30 until now. So great stuff as always. Kevin Huber, thank you for joining us tonight. You can go ahead and take that back with you as a token of appreciation for all of us here at the UPick6 Tap House and for the United Podcast. And again, make sure you can get our dish of the day for $2 off from 6 to 10 o'clock all the way until we close here at the Tap House and even after our podcast. So we are excited to continue along here on the United Podcast, again, brought to you by UPick6. And as we roll along, here on this Thursday night. One of the things that we are really, really excited about here at Gannon University, we are every single year, but this year has a little bit more of a significance to it because of the importance of the year. It is our Centennial Celebrate Day of Giving coming up in just 3 weeks from now. And who better than some of our great athletic teams and student athletes to tell us how important Day of Giving is for their squads.
The Gannon baseball program has given me so much opportunity to get out here and be a student athlete and really showcase my skills, as well as have a great time in the classroom and have a lot of support behind me from both coaches and awesome teammates.
You'll see it all the time here when we come out for the games, the people that come around here, the community, not just on the field to support us, but just helping us with our Day of Giving. It is a tremendous help to all of us.
Thanks again, Acrobatics and Tumbling. We are able to continue to pursue our dreams as college athletes, and we truly have the best support system.
It's really nice to know that other people besides Acrobatics and Tumbling, the coaches and staff, support us and are rooting for us. And it's really nice to have their support and just know that other people outside of our community have our back.
All right, our thanks to baseball and acrobatics and tumbling. You can hear from all of our teams starting from now until Day of Giving about what this means to them. But there are two people to either side of me who are great about being able to talk about this. To my right is Carrie McKay, our Assistant Athletic Director for External Relations. And to my left, Jordan Salai, the Associate Director of Annual Giving and Alumni Communications. Their jobs are very busy between now and April 24th, but it is hard to believe that we are this close already, 3 weeks out from today. But the planning gets started now because the excitement, it is there, certainly, Carrie.
Yeah, for sure. No, we've been deep in planning mode for a while now. Now it's like really coming down to the wire and executing everything, making sure that we're sending out emails, posting on social, getting everybody ready, getting everyone excited. So it's going to be really exciting. I can't wait to watch it all play out and see what we can do.
And again, this is 3 weeks from today. It starts 8 p.m. on April 24th, goes until 8 p.m. on April 25th. So you have an entire day to be able to make your donation and your cause known. You know, Jordan, we just saw a couple of the videos from the athletic programs, and whether it's the athletic part, whether it's Gannon University as a whole, you know, everyone talks about the importance of Give Day, but there's an extra layer of excitement about it this year because it is the centennial celebration with 100 years of Gannon. Take us through the added level of excitement knowing that it is that centennial year coming up at the end of the month.
So our goal this year is 1,000 donors, 100 donors for every decade that Gannon has been in Erie. So we are extra special excited to celebrate the centennial and honor this legacy and make a huge impact in the community and for the university and our students.
Let me ask you, Jordan, because Day of Giving is part of the Centennial Celebrate, but it's a year-long endeavor that we get a chance to celebrate the 100 years of Gannon and what it means to this community. What has it been like getting a chance to plan things like that? Because again, we know how much Gannon is ingrained and embedded into this community. Take us through what that planning part has been like and the opportunity to get to celebrate the centennial year and just what it's meant to get to be a part of that in all the years that Gannon here has been around Erie.
Yeah, so once in a lifetime. I mean, truly, it's been amazing to see all of this come forward. I have been here since December of 2018, so I knew we were quickly approaching our 100 years, the centennial. So to see this actually happening and be a part of it is just truly amazing.
Carrie, let's talk about the athletic side because we heard from a couple of teams. We're going to be hearing from 19 more as we move into the next few weeks here. Every single team has a story. And you know, what was fascinating to me in talking to some of these student athletes is these student athletes love their team for different reasons. It's a chance to have camaraderie. There are some who have come from overseas and have gotten a chance to experience a different sort of a culture. In the time that you've had a chance to be with these student athletes, how impactful is that community relationship with Gannon Athletics? Because we talk about it all the time, but you're somebody who really knows it almost better than anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's awesome to hear. I am just so honored and just thrilled to be able to step into this role this year with us celebrating 100 years and getting to build excitement around that and all the love that I have for Gannon and Gannon Athletics and all the athletes that I got to work with, that I get to work with every day. It's just amazing and incredible to be able to be an alumni of Gannon Athletics, a former coach, and now being able to step into this role and get to support all of the teams and get to spend a little bit of time with them in all of their different fields and areas of life has been really life-changing for me. I've always been really passionate about Gannon. I love it, and getting to elevate every aspect of everything that we do this year, because it's 100 years, is really truly an honor. And also it's setting a precedent a little bit for us moving forward, which I am all about. I'm all about competition and getting better and how can we improve from year to year. And that is exactly what Day of Giving is all about, honestly. Like, we are here to kind of celebrate the past, look at where we are now, and lay the foundation for the next 100 years. And that's what this is all about. So I serve on the Centennial Committee as well, which is awesome to be able to do that for my department, and to have that voice for the student athletes, for the coaches, and for everybody that I work with. I know that they put in so much hard work, and to be able to bring the community in closer this year and to have them celebrate that and feel like they're a part of that truly is the favorite part of the job for me. So I'm very excited to be able to be that link between the community and our student athletes and athletics as a whole. So I'm just looking forward to it just putting our student athletes in this department on a pedestal for everybody to see and just celebrate this year. So
I'm glad that you mentioned celebrate for the future too, because my mantra is if you're going to celebrate 100, you might as well celebrate 101.
Exactly.
Because you're just as important as the last. And again, a reminder, April 24th and 25th, Day of Giving. Carrie, you made a great point. For those who don't know, you used to be a coach here at Gannon University. You had an opportunity to be really ingrained in the athletic part, in a different role than you are now. This day as a head coach and from a student athlete perspective, how important is this day to ensure that we have that success for athletic programs moving forward? And for those maybe who don't understand or don't necessarily know, how important can this day be to help teams plan and advance moving forward through the season for Day of Giving?
Right. It's huge. Obviously, our programs, our sports, they fundraise all year round. They do a lot of different initiatives, but this is really the big one. 24 hours to make a difference, and that's what you got. It's a challenge, and our coaches thrive in this competitive atmosphere. So that's really exciting for them and something that they can relate to and really exceed and excel in. So it's huge. It helps, secure a lot of, not secure, but it helps us get to that next level. And where we are right now, like, we are thriving as an athletic department. We are growing from year to year. We're in a great position right now. And of course, we're always looking to keep growing and growing. The growing is never done. So this is a huge opportunity for our coaches to really engage all of their contacts to help them feel like they are part of the program, part of the success, part of the growth from year to year. So it's there's no words really to explain how big and how important it is for them. So yeah.
It's been wonderful to get to be a part of the athletic side, and it kind of transitions well into the university side. Carrie made a great point about positioning ourselves well for the next 100 years. And as a university, Jordan, I'm sure that that's such an important part for Gannon as well. It continues to grow year in, year out. And again, keep in mind, this is in a time where the unfortunate part about colleges and universities is some are having to downsize. Some, unfortunately are having to close their doors. And Gannon is in the lucky position to have that opportunity to expand at a time where that's not always possible. Take us through, from a university perspective, how important Day of Giving is and how that alumni support is so crucial for the university this time of year.
Yeah, so I'm going to start back to when it all began in 2019.
Yeah.
So our first year was 2019, Day of Giving. We had everyone participating on social media. We had alumni testimonials. We had community members, and it grew from 290 donors to last year we had 879. So you can see the progression of Day of Giving from 2019 to just last year, and that's kind of also where we set that 1,000 donor goal to honor the centennial, to keep momentum going. And Day of Giving is a time of year where we're celebrating scholarships for students. We're celebrating the research, faculty and staff coming together. students coming together. We have the poster presentations during Celebrate Gannon. So Day of Giving became a part of this weekend to honor all of this legacy. And every donation makes an impact. So whether it's $5, $500, every donation matters and makes a huge difference for our students and in the university.
And I was going to say, that's another important part, whether you're donating to the athletic department, whether you're donating to a specific team or the university in and of itself. A lot of people, and look, myself included, when I was younger, you think to yourself, okay, it's $5, it's $10. Is it really going to make that much of a difference? But to your point, every single donation matters because, again, it is all important to be able to help the greater cause for the university.
Yes. Every single donation matters, big or small. We always appreciate it, and our students appreciate it.
Let's talk about the ways that we can get involved, because in the dawn of social media, we're really not in the dawn. That was dumb of me to say. We're like way past the hill. We're like at the summit of Mount Everest, I feel like, at this point. But there are so many ways that you can get involved, and we'll start, Carrie, with you on this. We've been trying to expand our reach with digital and social media, with the athletic department as we've rolled along. Advantage in 2025 to be able to get involved in multiple ways instead of just having a mail, something in the mailbox with a postage stamp.
Right. It's been so it has changed the game, honestly. And it does help those people who do want to be involved and want to give back, but are in the position to do so themselves financially. So there are so many ways to get involved. Social media, we keep saying that, but it is a great way to really push out what we're doing here, why we're celebrating Gannon. You can submit testimonials, you can push out the links on social media, even if you aren't in the place to be able to give back and that's not something that is speaking to you or something that you're able to do right now, but you still want to be involved. There are so many different ways to do so. I know Jordan will talk a little bit about how you can be an advocate for Day of Giving and help that way as well.
Yeah, so you can sign up to become an advocate on our Day of Giving website. And all you do is you go on, there's a button that says become an advocate, and you get your own unique link to share it on social media. We keep talking about the power of social media here. So that is another powerful way to help during Day of Giving, is sharing to your own community, your peers, family members, community members that you're engaged with on social media. So when you become an advocate, it is a really great way to help us through Day of Giving.
I'm fascinated to hear from both of you because you have extensive talks with donors and alumni members and people who have been to Gannon, who played at Gannon, who were a big part of the Gannon community. And as we know, a lot of the alumni who went here, they're either still here, they're supporting via a fan, or they're supporting, elsewhere in the community. Is there a story that either of you or both can share? Maybe, Carrie, we can start with you because of the relationship with athletics, of maybe an alumni member or a former student athlete who has been able to continue being a part of the community, whether it be through donorship or through fandom, that you think really encapsulates what Day of Giving and what this giving back is all about for those who have been, like you, through the student athlete and the coaching perspective?
Yeah, of course. I have a lot of different stories I could tell.
Well, we got time.
Well, I mean, one of somebody that I work with a lot that I've seen recently, because it was basketball season, Cal Graham has always been a huge supporter of Gannon basketball, but not just Gannon basketball, but Gannon as a whole. He is our biggest fan and just one of my favorite people to talk to. Mel Witherspoon as well, sharing the different stories of, that perspective of where we were, where we started and how far we've come, and still coming back, staying connected, coming to see what their contributions can help us achieve. Being able to tour them through the newly renovated Highmark Event Center, to be able to sit with them in those seats before everything opened. It was just, really special as an alumni myself, like somebody who loves Gannon so much, who has always been a huge, go Knights type of girl. It was really cool to be able to see how, they weren't, they started where they were and they helped build every step of the way to where we are now. And to be able to see that, they're still contributing, they're still coming, showing up for the team, and Gannon as a whole, any way that they can, offering matched gifts that are challenging other people to get involved and to give back. are so grateful for people like that. It's so incredible to see people. I've always said this, once you're here at Gannon and they get you in, you just, in the best and most passionate way possible, you never leave ever. Like, you are stuck. You are a Gannon Golden Knight for life. And that I truly feel that. I mean, I'm still here and I'm loving it, and I'm just trying to contribute in every way that I can. So I think that is, whatever level you can be a supporter. We want you here, and we love you. So
to your point, I got to admit, I figured about a week into the Highmark being reopened that there'd be people engraving their names on some of the seats.
yeah.
I legitimately thought that was going to happen. But you're right. And Jordan, I'm sure that you get some of those remarks as well, is that once you are here, even when you graduate, you're still part of the family. And a lot of people want to be part of the family. And I'm sure those are some of the stories you're hearing as well.
Yes, absolutely. So most recently on social media, we put out a Tell Us Why You Celebrate Gannon. And it's been one of my favorite social media engagement pieces we've put out, because there are alumni saying that they met their spouse here, that their children go here now, that they have a whole Gannon family, and that just Gannon has had such an impact on their lives. And just seeing those stories and testimonials is just, it's amazing.
And there's many of them too. We could be here for hours. If we had more than an hour, we would certainly be here for hours. We talked about social media, ways that you can get involved, Jordan, but I'll go to you with this. Tell us all the ways that you can get involved, even before Day of Giving begins, and then again on April 24th at 8 p.m. until 8 o'clock on the 25th.
Yeah, so we keep talking about social media, but also there is a toolkit on our Day of Giving website. So emailing your peers, emailing fellow alumni, sending a text message, sharing your testimonial with us in the Gannon Alumni Office or athletics. You can also go onto the website and make your gift early. There are many ways to participate in this day: testimonials, giving, sharing with your community members, sharing with your alumni. So everything is on our Day of Giving page, toolkit.
And from an athletics perspective, we'll certainly be very prevalent in social media. And we're happy to announce tonight, Carrie, that you actually, as a fan, could contribute to some of our coaches getting drenched.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, of course. This is my favorite and exciting thing to talk about today. We will be doing a live broadcast of our Day of Giving we're going to be starting on Thursday
here, Thursday night
actually.
At the Tap House.
Yeah, for an extended podcast that will go until 8 p.m., which is officially when Day of Giving starts on Thursday, April 24th. So we're going to be having some exciting guests there, but then the excitement doesn't stop there. We're going to be hosting our live stream at our Recreation and Wellness Center, where we're going to have a dunk tank where you will get the opportunity to watch some of the great Gannon coaches and Gannon athletic admin be dunked in the dunk tank when we reach really big goals, milestones, things like that. So it's another fun way to get involved and get that instant gratification, like, oh, my $5 gift just got Isaac dunked in the dunk tank.
Wait a minute, I'm hosting the broadcast. Wait a second.
Surprise.
Oh, okay, I see. So we got to change up those plans. I got to go get swimming trunks. And look, and that's the great thing about it is we have fun with something like this, because that's what it should be. It is an exciting time, a great opportunity to give back to Gannon Athletics and Gannon University as a whole, and to both of your point, to make an impact for a community that goes both ways, right? Mm-hmm. Community to Gannon and Gannon to the community. We've just seen that day in, day out, whether it's a podcast here at the Tap House, whether it's events on campus or off campus. There's always this huge community aspect, which puts Gannon really in a great position when it comes to Erie County schools and universities.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Gannon is about the people, honestly.
Jordan, any last things that people may need to know before we get ready and run on the roads 3 weeks from now for Day of Giving?
Not only are we celebrating the centennial, our Ruskin campus also celebrated a decade. Yeah. So supporting our Ruskin campus and our Florida community too. It's our Erie community, our Florida community, all communities the Gannon family.
Yeah.
Well, Day of Giving is important for both campuses, but if there's one thing we want Ruskin to give us, it's the sunshine, because we have not seen that. We have not seen that in forever. Jordan Salai, Kerry McKay, thank you so much to both of you for joining me. It's really been a pleasure, and can't wait to kick off this road to Day of Giving coming up in 3 weeks.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, Day of Giving, again, as we talked about, coming up in just 3 weeks' time, 8 o'clock on April 24th until 8 p.m. on April 25th. And as Kerry mentioned, we'll be doing 2 live streams coming up on Thursday, an extended United podcast coming up Thursday night from 6 to 8 here at the Tap House. And then on Friday, starting early in the morning and going till late at night, we will continue to have another extended podcast on Friday, both at the Highmark Event Center and at the Recreation and Wellness Center Fieldhouse, where you have a chance to get some coaches dunked in our dunk tank. So excitement over that as we roll along through. As we continue our Day of Giving coverage here on the United podcast, we're hearing from another couple of teams that appreciate and love your support each and every single day.
It means a lot to me, the way they've been treating us, the way we get treatment for our games, after our practices, getting us different types of food on the road. It means the world.
I feel truly blessed to be here. It's a blessing to be a part of a program that really cares about the players. The fans care. We've got good teammates, got good people around us, around the organization. I love my coaching staff. I'm real close to my coaching staff. It's everything I want here. This is a great experience. I can't express how blessed I am.
I really enjoyed my running, and being on this team has given me an opportunity to come overseas, come to America and study here, and also being with a great group of people also helps me run better, and they push me a lot in our practices and races. As a team, we generally, before our cross-country season, we do a trip to Ohio Pile and stuff like that, and that will be funded by things like this. So just to make those events as nice as possible, that's where the Day of Giving comes in. So that will help a lot.
All right, here's what's on tap for this upcoming weekend as we continue along here on the United Podcast, live at the UPick6 Tap House in downtown Erie every Thursday from 6 until 7 o'clock. And, of course, you can get your dish of the day, the chicken pesto flatbread, $2 off between now and 10 o'clock tonight. A lot of stuff happening both on campus and away from campus. We'll start with baseball. Coming up tomorrow, they'll take on Slippery Rock on the road, and then weather permitting, Saturday at home against the Rock. That will be baseball at McConnell Family Stadium. Meanwhile, softball in action right now against Seton Hill, and last I checked, they were up in the game 2 of the doubleheader. They won game 1 on a walk-off from Jenna Clance. They'll take on Clarion on Friday. Do want to make a note, the Saturday doubleheader at Ashland has been postponed due to weather, so softball right now set for that Friday doubleheader tomorrow at home. Make sure to get out and enjoy that. We're going to talk about the Women's Water Polo Erie Classic in just a second, but Zarko Sadakovic and crew is going to be at the Holman Aquatic Center at Cathedral Prep, just a short jaunt down the road here from Gannon University. They'll be taking on a flurry of teams on Saturday and Sunday in the Erie Classic. It is Senior Day coming up on Saturday afternoon at the Highmark Event Center for acrobatics and tumbling, as Brandy Duran's squad will grace the home confines for one final home meet before national championships. They'll take on third-ranked Quinnipiac Saturday at 2 o'clock. Meanwhile, on Sunday, if you've got plans, or if you don't have plans, you have plans now. Women's lacrosse is in action at noon at McConnell Family Stadium on Sunday afternoon. They will take on the Seton Hill Griffins as we roll along throughout the weekend. Of course, want to make a mention as well, in addition to all the home games around Gannon University, you can watch all away contests live right here at the UPick6 Tap House and streaming wherever you get your live games. So again, all games live at the Tap House away from Gannon University campus. So why stay at home? Come down here, get some great food and drink, and enjoy Gannon athletic events. All right, as we talked about, coming up this Saturday and Sunday, it is the Women's Water Polo Association WWPA Erie Classic. It'll be at the Holman Aquatic Center on Cathedral Prep's campus coming up Saturday and Sunday. Gannon with a couple of games on Saturday and a couple as well on Sunday. Cannot wait for it, but no one better to talk about that than head coach Zarko Sadakovic of the women's and men's water polo team. Had a chance to sit with him earlier today inside the Recreation Center pool to talk about the season so far, what his team has shown in terms of growth, and the excitement for Saturday and Sunday. Take a look. We're getting set for the WWPA Erie Classic coming up this Saturday and Sunday at the Holman Aquatic Center. The nice thing about women's water polo this weekend is that the weather's not going to be a factor. It's going to be rainy, maybe snowy this weekend, yet we're still going to get to play all the games. And Zarko Sadakovic, the head coach of the women's and the men's water polo team, joining us here on the United podcast. Zarko, first and foremost, you've been on the road all season long. Now you finally get a chance to come home for a few games. I'm sure that's going to be really nice to not have to be on a bus and get to be in your own backyard this weekend.
Yes, first and foremost, thank you for coming in and doing this at the pool. I think this is going to be great that we're going to be finally playing here in Erie in front of the home crowd and not be in the bus, for almost half a day as some of our games require.
Let's talk about, we'll get to the Erie Classic in a second, but I want to talk about the season so far. You've had a couple of milestone moments for some of your student athletes, and we'll get to that in a moment. But when you take a look going into this weekend at the way the season has gone so far, what are some of the things you like, some of the observations that you're seeing from your team so far in the first few weeks and now a couple months into the season?
Well, first and foremost, I have to say that this season has been challenging yet promising. We have had a lot of individual performances over the last couple of weeks. Some of the seniors and the juniors have stepped up and had great games. We have worked a lot on the fundamentals, a lot of the tactical stuff. We've changed a lot in defense, which ultimately led the team to win a couple strong games.
You've gotten a couple of those big wins, and you look at some of those individual student athletes, and whether it's Molly Fair reaching her milestone, or some of your goaltenders and defenders who have been playing really, really well. But as a head coach, it can be difficult to make some changes earlier mid-season. You talked about some of your defensive strategies are changed. We're not going to ask you to name those defensive strategies. That would just be silly of me. But what is the key to having a successful change in strategy mid-season? Because again, you have your idea of how you want to play, and then all of a sudden you go through this change. What has that process been like in trying to implement some of the new things that you've been wanting to this season, and how do you feel like the team has responded to that?
So this season has been very strange and different, sort of said. We have exactly 14 players, which in water polo we have exactly 2 full squads and 2 goalies. So we have exactly 2 teams. So with that being said, everybody is contributing, and everybody has stepped up from the previous years, including the great freshman class that we had. Currently, I think that we have 2 starters that are freshmen, and you don't see that often nowadays. This is obviously deserved spot on the team, and I am looking forward to see what the girls are going to bring this weekend.
It's so fascinating because you mentioned that there are other sports, especially those on campus, that freshman starting is not out of the norm. It's something that happens, but for you, the experience factor is so critical in men's and women's water polo. But that, I think, transitions well into talking about the growth of the team, because you mentioned at the beginning, there has been a lot of growth opportunities and great opportunities for others to be able to step up. How impressive have you been with the growth of this team? Maybe it's the young student athletes who have come in and start. Maybe it's the veterans being able to teach those younger players. How would you rate the growth of the team and how you've been able to see that so far as you get ready to come home on Saturday?
Some of the areas that the girls have shown a tremendous change this season, specifically in the last couple of weeks, have been team chemistry and resilience. We have struggled in the past, especially with playing some of the bigger teams this season, some of the deeper benches this season, which was shown in the first couple of weeks down at Villanova and VMI. However, we overcome some of the stuff that we were struggling with, and the girls have been building chemistry in and outside of the pool, and it's been looking great. Not only that, there have been some great leadership development within the team. all the ends are looking, tighter and tighter. So I'm really looking forward to see what the girls are going to show this Saturday and Sunday, but specifically Saturday.
Zarko Sadakovic on the show right now, the head coach of women's water polo. Let's talk about the Erie Classic being played at the Holman Aquatic Center on Cathedral Prep. Of course, we're no stranger to Cathedral Prep and their friendly confines just down the road. We got a bunch of games. You've got 3 games on Saturday, another 2 coming up on Sunday. What is a weekend like this like? You've had a couple of them now, and traditionally that's what it is, right? You got to go on the road, you got to play 4 or 5 games. When you look at a schedule like that, what is the key to, first and foremost, making sure you're set to go for every game, because you got to play a lot, you don't have a lot of downtime, but what all goes into a weekend like this and the excitement of it getting me back home?
Well, first of all, kind of how we touched it at the beginning, it's great that, you can play so many games, but you can play them in Erie. And having, between non-conference conference games, and some of the men's off-season games, there's a lot of things going on. However, conference games, we're opening the day with a 9 a.m. game against McKendree, and then we're going to play Salem at 5 p.m. On Sunday, the schedule is a little bit different, and we're playing non-conference games. So having a strong schedule on Saturday and kind of being spread out from non-conference games definitely makes our game plan from a strategic standpoint much easier, sort of said. But we are very, very sharp, and we are very eager to show what we worked, in the last couple of weeks.
And to be at home, too, is exciting as well. For sure.
100%, Isaac. We definitely need that extra player in the pool, and that's something that the fans are going to bring with their support and their energy is definitely something that we are desperately needing.
To concur, when he means the extra player in the pool, he means your support in the stands. You do not have to actually go into the pool and play, because I know I certainly couldn't, and I know people are just excited to watch. But again, make sure to get down there. We got a lot of games happening again. Gannon playing at 9 and 5 o'clock on Saturday, and then a couple more games coming up on Sunday. You look at your opponents. You mentioned Salem, you mentioned McKendree, you mentioned, of course, Washington and Jefferson as well. A couple of teams you've already had the chance to play this season in different locations. When you play teams a second and third time around, is there anything that you change? How do you keep your strategy fresh, your team fresh, when you play these teams a second, third, maybe sometimes fourth time at different tournaments?
Isaac, these are very, very, very good questions, and I'm trying to give you the answers, but not obviously give too much. But obviously, having 3 conference teams in the East, and having to play everybody twice does present some challenges. But with that being said, all 3 teams are relatively within the same level and are very similar to each other, which I think that results from the first weekend has shown. We are, definitely working hard and watching how we did last or 2 weekends ago, and we're correcting and doing everything that we can to perform the best and to correct those mistakes that we made.
You've talked about the excitement of this tournament prior to it happening, but now let's look forward to after Sunday and things of that nature. We hope for success, of course, this weekend. We're excited to get to watch the team. What would a successful weekend do for your team in terms of morale, in terms of looking forward down the road, in terms of women's water polo? What a great weekend would do for your team as you get ready to head into the latter part of the season coming up after this?
Well, excuse me. Being said that we are the second seeded currently, I think that we're in a good spot moving forward. Our goal will be to keep the second seed and hopefully to get the first seed on the East, which ultimately is gonna give us the best possible chances to get the best seeding for the final tournament and hopefully playing at the NCAA.
All right, let's talk about some of the individual players and student athletes that you'll see coming up on Saturday and Sunday. Of course, the team itself is looking for a really strong performance, Zarko, but when you jump into the pool on Saturday morning, what are going to be some of those key contributors that you're looking for in the games that you'll be playing this week?
Isaac, it is very hard to name a couple. As I said, we have a shorter team this year, but everybody is contribute, in any way possible. So it's going to be very hard to say, but obviously there are some juniors and seniors that have brought tremendous energy to the team, starting with Jane and Ellie, who were the main leaders on the team and who have been the motor of the team since the first game of the season, alongside with Molly Fair, who is the other captain next to Jane. And also I would like to single a couple of the juniors, Emma and Molly, of course.
Again, a lot of depth, a lot of excitement around this roster, and a chance to show off their skills at the Holman Aquatic Center on Saturday and Sunday. Now, we're not technically in the season, but I mean, sports seasons in college are year-round anyway, and the men's water polo team has an opportunity to get a couple of games in as well, albeit not their official season. How important is this part of the year still, too, for the men's team? Again, I'm sure to be able to continue to develop, grow their game, and then prepare for the fall.
So, in my opinion, I think that this, off-season practices are as important as in-season, because in this, time, obviously you're gonna have less practice times, and you're gonna have more time to kind of focus on school and maybe get a job and get some internship. However, we are working very hard, 3-4 times a week. We're specifically we are focusing on individual skills in the off season. And some of the jump that I've seen from the freshmen and from some of the sophomores and the juniors have been tremendous, and I can't wait to see how they're going to look in the fall. I'm really looking forward to it. They're also having a couple of the off-season games this weekend, and again, ultimately that's a great motivation to get in the pool and to work for something.
Looking forward to the WWPA Erie Classic coming up this Saturday and Sunday, again at the Holman Aquatic Center pool at Cathedral Prep. Zarko Sadakovic's squad, as he mentioned, 2 big conference games on Saturday and then more on Sunday as well in the non-conference. More information on our website, www.gannonsports.com. All right, continuing along here on the United Podcast, brought to you by the UPick 6 Tap House. We're live here tonight. It's packed again, as always. What a great location and venue in downtown Erie on the corner of 4th and State for you to be able to get great food, drink, and, of course, be with us every Thursday night from 6 to 7 o'clock. As mentioned, our dish of the day tonight, the chicken pesto flatbread, $2 off between now and 10 o'clock. If you make your way down to the tap out. It is delicious. They keep bringing them out one by one, so it's exciting to get to watch. A couple of cool announcements that we want to have for you as we roll along through this podcast. Just got a final in softball today. 2 huge wins for the Golden Knights as they just took down Seton Hill in Game 2, 3-2, and Game 1 winners as well, 6-5. Jenna Clance there on the right-hand side had a walk-off 2 RBI single in the bottom of the 7th inning to pace the Golden Knights to a win in Game 1. And in Game 2, Katie Armstrong getting the job done in the 7th, leaving the tying runner stranded in Gannon with that doubleheader sweep of the Griffins in what will be a key weekend for them if they're able to get to play tomorrow as well. Also want to mention as well, this news coming out earlier this morning, Gannon University athletics just continues to impress. In the NACDA Learfield Directors Cup, the Golden Knights coming in 12th in the rankings out of more than 300 NCAA Division II schools. You might be asking what the Directors Cup is about. Well, that is a standings marker based on the success of your athletic program. So Gannon right now, based on all the programs in the fall and the winter season, 12th out of every single NCAA Division II school in the Learfield Directors Cup standings. It is a coveted award, and right now we sit in the top 15. For reference, the highest Gannon has ever finished in the Learfield Directors Cup standings is 19th. That was last year in 2023-2024. The Golden Knights, of course, paced this year by great play in men's basketball and women's basketball in their Elite Eight run, and Tom Boyd's men's wrestling crew taking 9 to nationals and 2 All-Americans with Jerry Echeverria and Dorian Crosby taking home top finishes as well. So we continue to follow that along. We're very proud of all of our student athletes in the spring season growing strong as well. As Gannon sits 12th, they also are the top PSAC school are the Golden Knights out of any team in the Learfield Directors Cup standings. Gannon, of course, owns the Dixon Trophy standings lead as well for the top PSAC athletic school through the winter sports season as well. Want to mention as well, coming up next weekend, we'll talk about it more on next week's podcast, but save the date in case you're not already interested. Make sure to keep it on your calendar for Alumni Weekend for the football team coming up April 11th through the 13th with the spring game happening April 12th at McConnell Family Stadium. Eric Rayburn and crew would love to get to see you out. We'll talk to them next week about the Alumni Weekend and, of course, the spring game and what that means to them as we move along here throughout the season. All right, so much more to get to on the United podcast. We still have our interview with Michelle Wiley about her 150th win and now up to 153 wins after that doubleheader sweep tonight. So as we get ready for that, we, of course, have to talk about the great things that have happened on the field and on the court and everywhere else in play so far this season and in this past week. We capture a lot of great footage with our cameras, so we wanted to put it in 5 plays again, as we always do. It's time now for our top 5 plays of the week as captured through our cameras. Let's show you those right now. Top 5 plays of the week, starting at number 5. It is baseball. Earlier this week against Cal, how about Big Wes Parker? All he does is mash home runs and chew bubblegum, and in that game, he was out of bubblegum. Towers went over the wall and left for a solo shot. Gannon with a big doubleheader split against Cal last week, of both one at home and one on the road in a split. This guy, he's so hard to stop, so hard to strike out. Really has everything going for him. Wes Parker again in baseball again. Hopefully we'll see them back in action this weekend, weather permitting. At number 2 to softball, how about Natalia Malazzi, the big lefty, cleaning up the yard with a big home run in Gannon's victory earlier this week against Cal. The Golden Knights, their bats are starting to get hot when things matter. Malazzi, her team had another great day today. Take a look at this home run one more time as captured through our cameras. Just a nice little right foot tap, and all she has to do is swing. That barrel puts it over the fence. No doubter for Malazzi. And by the way, speaking of softball, we're probably going to have a play at number 1 in our top 5 plays of the week next week in Jenna Klontz' walk-off, but that, of course, will be in next week's podcast. To number 3, this was captured via picture. How about Alex Bemis in the same game against Cal that Wes hit the home run? This was the catch that was made from Bemis in the top of the 7th inning to help secure Gannon's victory. Reaching over the wall, leaping with one hand, a leg in the air, and everything didn't seem to matter. Bemis with an incredible catch. He's a stalwart at third base, my friends, and Gannon, of course, that doubleheader split against Cal. At number 2, how about Gannon competitive cheer and dance last week, taking home first place in 3 separate categories. An amazing performance from Kelly Mikowski's crew at the Road to Daytona Showcase, and the Golden Knights now getting ready for their Daytona National Championships coming up next week. But at number 1, it is, of course, Michelle Wiley in her 150th career win in Gannon's victory over Cal in Game 1 of a doubleheader. She is just the moniker of consistency, is Coach Wiley. Doesn't like to be recognized that often, of course, cares more about her student athletes than herself. But what an accomplishment for just an amazing coach and such a down-to-earth and wonderful person who we all love to get a chance to work with each and every single day during the spring sports season. So those are our top 5 plays of the week. Congrats again to all who made the list, and of course so many more plays that didn't make the list that you can check out in our highlight reel on our YouTube channel once you're done watching this podcast. Well, speaking of Coach Wiley, of course we talk about moniker of consistency, and Gannon softball has been that under Coach Wiley. She's done just an incredible job at her time at the helm of the Golden Knights. And earlier today, before their now doubleheader sweep over Seton Hill, the head coach joined me for an interview talking about what it meant to her for that 150th win, one that she didn't really know about. Goes to show again the down-to-earth nature of Coach Wiley and how the program continues to get to move forward in a positive direction from here. Here's part of that conversation.
Is that you think back about all the kids that you had, right? And so we've had some great players both on and off the field, and so they do it on the field very well, obviously, because the wins show that. And so they're just really good girls that I've had for the last 7 years, and those are the things that I reflected on. And I had a couple of old players that when I first started, they're like, oh my God, congrats. And I was a part of some of those, and I was like, absolutely, without you guys I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now.
Take me back to when you first took the job and the expectations you had then, and have they exceeded them? Kind of where has that trajectory gone compared to when you first started and what your first thoughts were starting out with the program?
Sure. I mean, it was not going to lie, going from an assistant to head coach is a whole different role in ball game, right? So we had some ups and downs. I think the traditions have stayed the same. We're always striving for excellence on and off the field, and that's probably one of the biggest things that we have and that I'm striving for with the girls that I bring in. And, I want some good human beings to be a part of my program that can be role models for the younger ones and even for my daughter as well. And so those are the things that I'm looking for. But with the program itself, I think we've done a good job of trying to keep that excellence in both areas. COVID kind of threw a little blip in there for a little while. So those were some things that I didn't expect, and you just kind of roll with it because nobody had experience with that before. So you just leaned on each other and got through it. But I definitely see the Gannon softball program getting to its ups and ups now. For sure.
When you look at just your trajectory, between being a head coach and obviously with the program this year, what's the key year in, year out when you have turnover, when you have graduation, when you have transfers, to keeping the program as consistent as you've been able to keep it in your time?
Yeah, I think part of it is just right now we actually have probably more depth in positions that we've had in the past. And I think that's helpful too. And we push each other to get better, and holding each other accountable and striving for the best. And so I have some great assistant coaches with Dewey, Joe, and Chet. And so they help, and we all do our thing with our areas. And then we come together and we try and excel in that avenue as well.
Head coach Michelle Wiley, humble and grateful to be able to be part of a great program and earn that 150th win, and now a couple of more as well today, as in case you missed it just a couple of minutes ago, Gannon softball earning a sweep over Seton Hill 6-5 in game one on a walk-off from that of Jenna Klonson. In game two, they also took down Seton Hill 3-2, the final in that game as well. We're going to show you Jenna Klonson's walk-off in just a second, so we can show you exactly how that went down. But for Michelle Wiley, more wins to come, of course, and more success for the head coach of the Golden Knights softball team. All right, couple of more announcements for you. We have some accolades to give out on this Thursday here at the UPick 6 Tap House before we let you go and get ready for the weekend and subsequently next week's podcast. Congratulations, speaking of softball, to Natalia Malazzi as well as Jacob Skolnick of competitive cheer and dance for earning your Gannon Student Athletes of the Week. Jacob, of course, needs no introduction. His competitive cheer and dance squad with a tremendous performance at the Road to Daytona Showcase, including sweeping all the categories in which they were a part of on Saturday. And for Natalia Malazzi, that big home run against Cal and a couple of other big RBIs as well. She was tremendous, and as has the softball team been, as they continue to just really run through this middle part of their conference schedule now and playing very, very well when it matters most for the Golden Knights. So Malazzi and Skolnick are Gannon Student Athletes of the Week, presented by Chick-fil-A Erie. All right, here is how the walk-off happened in game number one with Jenna Klontz. We'll get to it in just a second once the video officially loads up. Again, as we've been talking about all night long, make sure to save the date. Coming up on April 24th at 8 p.m. through April 25th at 8 p.m. Jordan Saline, Carrie McKay with a great job of talking about it tonight. Save the date for Day of Giving. The centennial celebration continues at Gannon University, and your support matters so much to all of us, our student athletes, who, of course, use your support to be able to continue their skills both in and out of competition, and for the university at large as we continue to advance our mission to make students our main priority and, of course, make them all that they are capable of being. So Day of Giving coming up. We'll have more again on that in the coming weeks, and make sure to stay tuned to social media for ways that you can get involved, be an advocate, and give back to the university. As we go along here, we'll leave you in a few minutes with the podcast, but make sure to come back down to the Tap House tonight from 6 to 10 o'clock. Our dish of the day, the chicken pesto flatbread, is $2 off. Again, I've been saying I've seen about 15 to 20 of them come out the door and into the restaurant the time that we've been here tonight. It is a popular item, and again, every item on the menu, you could throw a dart at the menu and you'd get something great here at the Tap House. So make sure to head down there right now, get the chicken pesto flatbread, $2 off from now until 10 o'clock. All right, here is the Jenna Klonz walk-off from earlier today in what has been, again, a continued great spring sports season for our teams in game one of the Twin Bill. Man, they are something, I'll tell you what. What a job by Clonsand, the Gannon softball team today again with that doubleheader sweep over Seton Hill. Again, in case you missed what's on tap, here's a look one more time of what we got going on this weekend. Everything except for the softball doubleheader at Ashland Saturday is still on as of now. Baseball traveling to Slippery Rock tomorrow at 1 and 3:30. Saturday at 1 and 3:30 as well. Again, weather permitting for both games. Softball back home tomorrow against Clarion for a 2 and 4 p.m. doubleheader first pitch. Women's water polo, as we talked earlier to Coach Zarko Sadakovic, they will be home at the Holman Aquatic Center at Cathedral Prep Saturday and Sunday starting at 8 a.m. for their big WWPA Erie Classic games against McHenry, Salem, Penn State Barron, and Washington and Jefferson spanning over Saturday and Sunday. If you get a chance to go to women's water polo in the morning, you can stop by the Highmark Event Center Saturday afternoon. Acrobatics and tumbling will be at home for the final time and celebrate Senior Day against Quinnipiac at 2 o'clock. It's a really big matchup as well for the Golden Knights. They're 11th right now in the nation for the NCATA rankings. Quinnipiac ranked 3rd in the latest edition of those rankings. And of course, on Sunday, weekend doesn't end after Saturday. Women's lacrosse back home, riding a 2-game win streak with a big win over Edinburgh on Wednesday. They'll take on Seton Hill Sunday afternoon for a high noon start at McConnell Family Stadium. All right, want to thank all of you for being a part of our podcast tonight. For Jordan Saline, Carrie McKay for joining me, as well as Zarko Sadakovic and Michelle Wiley, all of our guests for being a part of our podcast tonight. If you want to learn more about the United podcast or just Gannon Athletics in general and what we're doing to enhance our digital media content, head over to our website, www.gannonsports.com, or you can just check out our social media channels 24/7, X, Instagram, Facebook, and of course our YouTube channel, where we post all the highlights, all the post-game reaction, some special segments, and other creative content as well around things centered around Gannon Athletics. We promise you will not be bored when you follow our social media channel. So much going on over the course of the next few weeks, and we're excited for yet another episode. Next Thursday will be our 7th episode here inside the U-Pick6 Tap House on the United podcast. And starting at 6 o'clock, we have another stacked lineup of live guests. Scott Stano and a student athlete will join us for men's and women's golf as they continue their great season. Just got back from Indianapolis a couple of days ago. They'll preview the rest of the year, talk about the success they've had so far, and of course, talking about the men's regional, which will take place at Whispering Woods coming up in the middle of May. We'll also have members from the Student Athletic Advisory Committee on to talk about the great year and what Gannon Athletics has been able to do from a student athletic perspective to advance their mission this year in 2024-2025. We'll have members and board members from that committee to talk about as well the end of the year celebration coming up at the end of April. Plus, it is football alumni weekend as well as the spring game coming up next Saturday. We'll have members from that alumni association and others from the football team staff to talk about the excitement around that and what you can do to be a part of alumni weekend in April. Because as we say, the season never stops, even when you're not, quote, in season. It's not the off season. It's just the non-playing season. And that's what we love about Gannon Athletics. All right, again, make sure to join us next Thursday at 6 o'clock right back here at the U-Pick6 Tap House. Again, dish of the day, $2 off, chicken pesto flatbread until 10 o'clock. And every single day, Monday through Friday, it's the almost half-off happy hour here at the Tap House between 4 and 6 o'clock. Come down whenever for great food, great drink, great camaraderie, and, of course, a wonderful time in downtown Erie, just off the campus of Gannon University. We'll see you all next Thursday at 6 o'clock. Until then, everybody, enjoy the week that was here on the United Podcast, brought to you by U-Pick6.